Stay tuned. We got stuff cooking up in here. Gonna chop y'all up. Look at all of this. Karate style.
What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I am back from a video where this time I want to talk about the LA Clippers, who just got a big time win in Game 7 versus the Dallas Mavericks. And this right here is one of the best first round series in recent history. You had Kawhi Leonard going head to head versus Luka Doncic, the guy who I believe will be the best player of the 2020s. And it was phenomenal to watch two players at the top of their games go at each other on both ends. Now obviously in the end Kawhi Leonard got the best of Luka, as in this series he was phenomenal, averaging 32.1 points per game, 7.9 boards, 4.6 assists on insane 61, 42, and 89 splits. And today Kawhi, he will be the main focus of this video because of how great he was when the Clippers had their back against the wall. As you guys know, in this series LA went down 0-2 and they lost both games at home. And like always, NBA fans, they jumped the gun and they said the Clippers were done for and the Mavs were going to sweep LA and send Kawhi packing. Now historically speaking, those fans, they weren't wrong for thinking that, as 426 times in NBA history a team has gone down 0-2, and 399 times they have lost that series. That is a win percentage of 6.3%. Now in Game 3 of this series in Dallas, Kawhi had 36 points on 76, 60, and 100 splits, and he had 9 points in the fourth quarter on perfect shooting, and the Clippers won this game by 10 points. And that Game 3 right there was arguably the most important game in Clippers history, as if they go down 0-3 in that series, I am 90% sure the duo of Kawhi and Paul George is not coming back together for the 2022 season. And very early on in this game, the Clippers were down 30-11. And right there in the moment, I was thinking to myself, the Clippers once again are going to go out sad. But Kawhi Leonard, he showed up and he played big in that Game 3. Now in Game 4, Kawhi would also be great, with 29 points, and LA won by 25. Now skipping ahead to Game 6, LA was once again down in the series, this time down 3-2. And at this point, playing in Dallas, they had a 17% chance to win this game and the series. And in my opinion, Kawhi Leonard had the best game of his career, having 45 points on 72, 55, and 100 splits, which included 12 points in the fourth quarter on perfect shooting. And that performance right there in Clippers history is probably the greatest playoff game ever for an LA Clipper, given the overall context surrounding this game. Now heading back to Game 7 in Staples Center, this would also be a vital game for Kawhi's career as well as the Clippers franchise. And in this game, virtually every Clipper stepped up. Even playoff P played very well, but Kawhi led the way, having 28 points, 10 boards, 9 assists, and once again, very impressive shooting splits. And the big takeaway from this game comes in the third quarter, as LA entering the third quarter was up by 8 points. But Dallas went on a big run and went up by 5. And right there in that moment, you kind of got the feeling Dallas, they were rolling, and possibly it could get out of hand if Luka caught fire. But to the Clippers' credit, they would fight back, and in the fourth quarter, they would go on a 21-2 run to close out Dallas. So a big time series for this Clippers franchise and Kawhi Leonard, as well as Paul George. They climbed out of the 0-2 hole. In Game 3, they were down by 19 early. They came out of that hole, and they won 4 out of the last 5 games in this series. Now, one of my big takeaways from this series is how well Kawhi Leonard was in the fourth quarter compared to Luka Doncic. And I think it was Jeff Van Gundy during the game talking about how Luka, he really wasn't showing up in the fourth quarters. And if you look at Kawhi versus Luka in the fourth, you can definitely tell Kawhi Leonard dominated this series when it mattered most, scoring 46 points, the most in the playoffs in the fourth quarter, on 71, 44, and 92 splits. Luka in his own right had 40 points, which still is very good, 5th in the NBA, but his shooting splits were definitely below average, as he shot 34% in the field, 27% from 3, and 50% from the line. And I think that right there was the big part of the series. Kawhi, he came through when it mattered most, and Luka, for whatever reason, seemed to falter in the fourth quarters. Now, once again looking at Kawhi Leonard in this series, he had an all-time great performance, In that Game 7, he was the first player since Kobe to have 25, 10, and 5 with 0 turnovers in a Game 7. He's the 4th player ever with 200 points in a series on 60% shooting. He's the 4th player ever with 40 points on 70% shooting in an elimination game. And he had the 2nd highest effective field goal percentage in a playoff series since 1967. So obviously a great series for Kawhi, but looking forward to the next round, this Clippers team will face the Utah Jazz. And there are varying opinions on this Utah team. Are they frauds? Are they legit? And are they title contenders? Since day one, I've always said this Utah team, they're very much for real, and I think them being called pretenders is coming from fans who really don't watch Utah Jazz games. Utah is a very, very good team, very deep. They have shooters, and of course they have Rudy Gobert as the defensive anchor. And I think the real X factor in this series will be Royce O'Neal as well as Donovan Mitchell on the offensive and defensive end. Now for that series, my prediction will be the Clippers to win, as from the beginning the Clippers were my Western Conference champion pick. And I think after this Dallas series, looking at games 3, 4, 6, and 7, the Clippers desperately needed a hard-fought series to regain confidence in themselves after the absolute collapse to the Denver Nuggets last year. And I think after that Dallas series, it is kind of funny. They've gone from getting swept to being the favorite to come out of the West. That's how fast these narratives change, and how quickly NBA fans as a whole can do a complete 180. And the last thing I want to say about this Clippers team, I also think it's very funny that only a few weeks ago, they were down 0-2, and the Lakers were up 2-1. And at that point in time, everyone said the Clippers, they were going to lose, it's over, Kawhi is gone. Virtually everyone had the Clippers losing that series, and on the flip side, everyone had LA beating Phoenix. And as you guys know, LA did not advance, and the Clippers did. So pretty funny stuff from both LA teams, as the Clippers pulled the ultimate Uno reverse card. So to wrap this video up, I think Kawhi Leonard right now is playing the best basketball of his career, and he's definitely in the running for being the best player in the world once again. And this Clippers team has a lot of momentum going into this series versus the Jazz, and I think they will win that series and advance to the Western Conference Finals for the first time ever. But as you guys know, the Clippers are the Clippers, and something is probably going to happen. If they don't make it, they're going to choke, or something totally unexpected is going to happen because the Clippers are simply the Clippers. I'm crossing my fingers, but you never know. So with that being said, let me know your guys' thoughts. Are the Clippers for real? Who is the favorite in the West? And who do you have winning the NBA title? Now with that being said,
Hasta la vista, baby.
What it do, baby?